A very good day to Doctor and also to all our fellow classmates. So for today, we from Group 5 consisting of Omera Balang, Chang Wanje and also Muhammad Amran as well as me, Rimli Martin, would like to present our last experiment, which is experiment 7 regarding Torricelli theorem. So I will start off with the abstract. So in this experiment, the relationship between liquid exit velocity and its height in the container is determined and Torricelli's theorem is applied to calculate the exit velocity. This experiment is done by filling the water into the cylindrical tank and cover the hole at the cylindrical tank to stop at the desired volume of water. Then, take off the finger from the hole. At the same time, mark the maximum distance by using the clay and record the time. However, we assume that it is an ideal fluid, which means that the fluid or liquid is incompressible, non-viscous and laminar flow. So next is the objective, whereby the objective of this experiment is to verify the Torricelli's relationship by comparing the measured and theoretical value of velocity. Moving on is the theory, whereby if we have fluid stands at a depth of h in an open tank whose side walls are vertical, as shown in the figure 1, with a hole is made in one of the walls, the velocity of a non-viscous fluid flowing from a cylindrical tank can be represented by Torricelli's theorem. The relation is V equals to square root of 2gh, whereby V is the velocity in meter per second, h is the depth below the surface of the liquid, and g is the gravity of the fluid. The velocity of the fluid coming out of the spot is the same as the velocity of a single droplet of fluid that falls from the height of the surface of the fluid into the container. Water stream from the hole is in horizontal direction, which can be represented by kinematic equation. For this case, the velocity v at any point I can be represented by the time taken t by the stream to cover a horizontal displacement of water stream dx of the water stream x, or as equation 2, x equals to vi bracket t. For constant acceleration, equation becomes xi minus x0 equals to dx equals to vi to the changes of t plus 1 over 2a to the changes of t square, and that's the equation 3, whereby a is actually the acceleration, gravitational acceleration, which is equals to 9.8 meter per second square. And the last part of the theory is at initial point of v equals to 0, equation 3 becomes dx equals to 1 over 2a to the changes of 2, which is our equation 4. And note that the volume V and the volume flow rate of the cylinder can be calculated from the following equation. That's the equation 5 and equation 6, whereby equation 5 is V equals to AHCW and equation 6 is mu equals to A to the square root of 2GHW, whereby the representation is A equals to area of cylinder in m square, HC is the height of the cylinder in meter, and W is the width in meter. So that is all for the theory part, and for the equation you can actually refer to 3 of our slide because there's 6 equations on it for better and clearer observation and understanding. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So hello doctor, my name is Omera, and today I will share with you the apparatus and procedure for this experiment. Okay, so the apparatus of our last experiment depicted in the figure 1. As you can see in this video, it includes the cylindrical cylinder with a drilled hole for the water jet to come out. Then we have the measuring tape to measure the measure the distance of the water jet, and clay marker, which is to mark the maximum distance of the water jet. Okay, so now we will get into the procedure. So the first step is to set up the apparatus based on 3 different setup, which is the H1, H2 and H3, as you can see in the video. It is in the picture diagram. Okay, so step 2 is to we start off with the lowest height, which is the H1 previously, then fill the cylindrical tank with water. And step 3 is to cover the hole at the cylindrical tank, which is at the bottom of the tank. It is where the water jet will come out. So we must cover the hole with a finger and stop to fill the tank at desired volume of water. Okay, then step 4 is after the water in the cylindrical tank is at desired volume, take off the finger from the hole. Then step 5 is simultaneously mark the maximum distance of water jet by using clay and record the time taken for the water to drain out. Okay, so step 6 is to repeat the procedure by using a different volume of water and at the different height of stages, which is the H1 and H3 previously. So the last step is step 7 is to remember to repeat the experiment 3 times in order to obtain the average reading. So that's all from me, and now I will pass to my group mate. Thank you.
This experiment had been conducted 3 times, which from different heights, which are for the height from floor to orifice. The first height is 36.65 cm, the second one is 56.45 cm, and the last one is 76.15 cm. Each experiment is conducted 3 times and get the average value as the final value. For the result part, we need to record the initial water level and the maximum water trajectory distance. Also, the time taken for water to drain out have been recorded. The volume of water have been fixed for this experiment. From this reading, we can calculate the flow rate of water by using the volume of water divided by time taken for water to drain out, while the velocity of water is calculated by using the initial water level divided by the time taken for water to drain out. The result have been shown in the table.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amran. So I'll be explaining about the discussion part starting from question number 1. Okay, so the first question asks about explain your selection on dependent, independent, and constant variable. Okay, based on my selection, for the dependent variable is height of fluid and the diameter of the nozzle, while the independent variable is distance of water jet from the nozzle. And lastly, for the constant variable is the density of liquid. Okay, based on the selection above, the purpose of this variable is to achieve the objective or the aim of the Torricelli's relationship, which is to verify by comparing the measured value with the theoretical value of velocity. Hence, it will be separated into 2 parts, which lead to the height of water on the speed of water effect due to the diameter of hole on the speed of water. Okay, so for the question number 2, clarify on how you can relate the Bernoulli equation with the Torricelli's law for this case. Show all the derivation and explain each steps. Okay, so for the Torricelli's law, it defines that it may be derived from Bernoulli principle and also relates the velocity of fluid leaving an orifice in a fluid-filled container to the height of the fluid above the orifice. Therefore, for the derivation, Torricelli's law is derived from Bernoulli equation by equating the potential energy in the static head of liquid to the kinetic energy of the water leaving through the orifice as follows. So as you can see in the first equation, where P1 over rho g, which is P1 is the pressure of the fluid over density times with gravity plus V1 squared, over 2g. V1 squared is the velocity of fluid plus Z1, which is the fluid height, equal to P2 over rho g plus V2 squared over 2g plus Z2. As the P1 and P2 is 0, since it is atmospheric pressure, therefore, velocity at point 1 is also considered as 0, since the movement of fluid is so small and almost equal to 0. So Z2 is also 0 because we take that point as the datum. Okay, so when we insert the P1 and P2, which is 0, we get the equation to become Z1 equal to V2 squared over 2g. By rearranging the equation, we get V2 over square root 2g Z1, which is the Torricelli law. Okay, this equation is a simplified method of estimating the velocity of fluid passing through an orifice under the static pressure. Okay, that's all from me. I'll pass to 1G.
For the third question in discussion part, we are required to get the percentage of relative error for the theoretical and measured values. The percentage error between the theoretical value and experimental value of the velocity of fluid is calculated by the equation P equal to V theoretical value minus measured value divided by theoretical values times 100%. The average of relative error for table 1, which y equal to 36.65 cm, is 29.6%. The average percentage of relative error for table 2, which y is equal to 56.45 cm, is 26.62%. And the last one, y equal to 76.15 cm, is 46.02%. The error that we attempt in this experiment is estimate 20%. Hence, there are quite a lot of errors occur in this experiment. It may get some errors while collecting the data, such as observer did not parallel with the reading. Next, when the nozzle does not point to the correct direction, which is in front, will also cause the water flow in wrong direction. This will affect the whole experiment. Leakage also will occur at the cylinder around the nozzle. This will affect the velocity of water. The method to minimize the error is we should take a few readings more to get the more accurate data. Moreover, we should make sure all the leakings are covered before the experiment starts. We also need to place the tube at the end of the clip so we can get more accurate reading of the distance. Lastly, to minimize the error, we should minimize the systematic and parallax error as much as we can, or also can reduce the error occur.
Okay, so the conclusion of this last experiment is the objective of this experiment deflects slightly and it is considered less successful because the data shows a percentage error of more than 25% overall of the data obtained. To ensure a proper result is obtained, measurement tools must have a reliable system setup that does not introduce sources of error to the device. By following our recommendations as explained by 1G previously, the experiment can provide a more accurate result. Thus, we can conclude that the velocity of water jet depends on the height of the water. The velocity of water jet is directly proportional to the height of the water. So that's all from us, Group 5, and thank you.